to a new video. Tonight's night number 2 of the big dance at US 24 Speedway. Last night we missed the show by 1 spot, so we're hoping to be a little bit better here tonight and try to put it in the show. We just got done with the heat race, and it was a pretty tough heat for us. We started 7th. I ran the bottom most of the time. Everyone in front of me ran the top, so I just felt like the bottom was the place to be to make something happen, even though I did feel like the top was better. It's just hard to be able to make a pass when everyone's on the top and you're on the top with them. So I ran the bottom, and the car didn't do too bad down there. It's just I could tell the top was better. And then, you know, we weren't slow down there, but guys in front of me got to racing, and it's just hard to make something happen. Like the second half of that race, I had guys 2, sometimes 3 wide in front of me, and it's just tough to make your way forward when that's going on in front of you. So a tough heat for us there, only 7th to 6th. I mentioned to you guys in the last video, and I'll say it again here, I mean, every car here is just good, and you get them all on the top like it's been in the heat races this weekend, and it's just hard to make something happen. Everyone's fast up there. Everyone's competitive, real close competition up there. It's just hard to make something happen if you're not doing something different than everyone else. So I just had to try the bottom to try and make my way up there, and halfway worked for me, but left a lot on the table in that heat race. Next, we're going out for a qualifier right here. We start 9th in this one, and they're going to take the top 4 to the feature. So we've got a few cars to pick off in this one, and I'm going to be honest, just like in the heat race, all those cars in front of me are pretty good cars, pretty strong. You could show up to a racetrack on any given weekend, and they might be your feature winners. So just the competition here is just unreal, and we're hoping for a good track and being able to have options to make our way through there, but gonna have a little bit of luck here too. slipped into the feature off of that qualifier right there. Still did not feel like the car was very good. I feel like I'm just like spinning out loose in the slick stuff, and then if it grabs any tacky stuff, it's one to straighten out, too tight. So I'm still making turns on the torsion stops, trying to figure out what I can do to help this thing. I had 6 inches of stagger there. That probably was a little bit too high for the track conditions we were on. So that probably made me a little bit too loose through the slick stuff, but still just got to figure out other adjustments to make to help this car, because I don't think stagger is going to do all of it. Started 9th in the qualifier, ran the bottom the early laps, and eventually went to the top. Just kind of picked one off at a time as they kind of slowly started going dead on track. There's a lot of DNFs in that race, and to be quite honest, that's really the only reason we made it. But I mean, like the guy here next to us said earlier tonight, when there's this many cars at this race, when there's this many solid cars at this race, you got to have some luck to be able to make it. So we were fortunate for that tonight. And like I said, I'm making adjustments, trying to figure something out on this thing. Hopefully we can pick a few off in the feature and find our way forward. Turned out to be a pretty good night for us at US 24. Like I said earlier, I feel like we kind of got lucky getting into the feature right there. I did miss the feature on the GoPro cameras, so I apologize for that you guys don't get to see it. But once we were in the feature, it was like 3 or 4 laps in, we got caught up in a stack up on the bottom and got run over in the left rear. Not really anyone's fault, but it's just frustrating. I feel like anytime we make one of these big shows in the feature, something's got to go wrong for us like that. So it happened here a couple times last year, 2 or 3 nights. Something went wrong when we made the feature. And it's just kind of frustrating that it happens over and over again once we've put in the work and effort to make it to the feature. Besides that though, the car was the best it's been all weekend by quite a bit. I added a little bit more tilt to the car just to try and get it to settle down a little bit on the cushion, and it definitely helped out a lot, I think. So I was able to run the cushion more consistently and more aggressively than I've been able to all weekend up to this point. I was also able to tie the right rear shock down a lot more than I have up to this point, and that seemed to help me a lot on the top as well, and on the bottom. I ran the bottom a lot of the race. Eventually I settled on the bottom in 1 and 2 and the top in 3 and 4. The cushion on 3 and 4 was just too good not to run there. And the bottom, the moisture around the bottom in 3 and 4 was just a little bit thin. It was hard to be consistent enough to make it work. The bottom in 1 and 2 though, I ran for most of the race, and when I was watching the last qualifier, before they reworked after the qualifiers, I felt like maybe it was just barely starting to take rubber on the bottom of 1 and 2. When I walked the track last night after the feature, I felt like even then the bottom of 1 and 2 was where it was maybe just starting to take rubber. It never did it hard, but even if you can catch on to something like that before the other drivers, you can make up a lot of spots using it. So I ran the bottom, and I do think by the end of it, it did start to take a little bit of rubber. I'm a little disappointed with how things have gone up to this point, but in that feature, I definitely feel like I learned a lot on the car setup and what I need to do with this car to be good tomorrow. So I'm proud of that. We ended up finishing 16th in the feature. Just kind of is what it is. Once you get in the feature with all those super good cars, it's especially on a reworked track, it's going to be tough to make your way forward. As always, I have to give a big thanks to all of our partners for helping us out and making it possible to come to these big races. Big thanks goes out to Nathan Benson Motorsports, G-Force Chassis, Porter Steel Buildings, DDI Fabrication, Sure-Built Suspensions, and AFD Graphics for everything that all of them do to help us out and make this possible. Thanks to all of you guys for following along with the channel. It really means a lot to me. If you have any comments, suggestions, feedback, anything you want me to know, leave me a comment down below. I'd love to hear what any of you guys have to tell me. I hope you all enjoyed this one from night number 2 of the big dance at US 24 Speedway, and I'll see you for the next one.